So today I found myself thinking about something embarrassing that happened to me many years ago when I was still deep in the trenches of Pickmeism without even knowing that I was a Pickme. And it's so embarrassing, but I feel like by sharing this story, I can bring, more awareness to some of the things we do or some of the manifestations of Pickmeism that you might even have that you don't even know is inside you, right? So I had gone to church that day. I was still in university, right? I went for student fellowship. And you know how it is when you're going to church and stuff like that, you're a young person, you're there, you make friends, and over time you develop interest, or you're attracted to some people, and you're hoping that, okay, by showing up as your best self at every point in time, that maybe you'll be picked, right? So that day, we're singing praise and worship. I was sitting at the back of the church singing, I was in the spirit. With my eyes closed tight and my mouth open wide, singing hallelujah. As I was singing, you know what happened? I just felt something fly down my throat. And I knew what it was because there were a lot of them flying around. You know this rove beetle, they call it papa, where I come from in Nigeria, where maybe it's like an electric ant or something, I don't know. But when it crawls on your body, anywhere that it crawls on, it releases chemicals or stuff like that, and you have blisters and all that, burns and blisters. So that was what flew down my throat. And instead of me to behave like a normal human being to myself, allow my self-preservation instincts to kick in, to cough and cough it out and, hopefully get it out before it does any damage to me. I'm like, oh my goodness, how can I disrupt what is going on here? What if I start coughing like crazy? Then people will notice and all whatnot. So I just swallowed it down, hoping that it would go down, and I continued singing. But the thing was just, I felt it there. Yeah, I started tasting some kind of chemical, like uncomfortable taste in my throat. And I knew that, hey, what I don't pass, Gary, I cannot do this to myself. I ran outside and went to the washroom section, and I started coughing and coughing and coughing. I tried to cough, but nothing came out. So I had to find water, and I drank it down. Because I didn't do it when I was supposed to. I ended up, swallowing it. But what happened was when I got home, I got back to the hostel and everything. By the next morning when I woke up, I lost my voice. I had the worst sore throat ever in my life at that point in time. It was so bad. It was horrible. And I just felt embarrassed. I couldn't even tell anybody what happened to me. But why I'm sharing this is just an example of the things that we women do sometimes just because we want to be, accepted, we want to be picked. Sometimes things happen to us in life where instead of us to stand up for ourselves, we'll be like, for peace to reign, let me swallow nonsense, let me swallow insult, let me swallow shame, just, to make another person comfortable, just to make sure that people, a man somewhere out there finds me, attractive, finds me feminine, right? But this is not what we need to do to ourselves. And unfortunately, we end up seeing women, giving up their, giving up things in their lives. Could be their education, giving up their careers, giving up their personal safety, giving up their bodies. Okay, let's say, for example, a woman that may be married to a man and is like, oh, you've had two daughters, I want a son. You end up having 4, 5, 6 children. You know that you are kind of allowing yourself to be hurt just to please another person. But in the end, it is us that ends up suffering. So one thing I would hope that someone will learn from that, my experience is this. If you find yourself in a situation where something is happening to you that you are not comfortable with, the first priority you should have is to preserve your own safety and well-being. What other people think of you and how you go about making sure that you are safe, that you are okay, does not matter. What matters is your safety and your well-being. So please don't yab me too much in the comments. It's so embarrassing, but I just remembered the story and I'm like, you know what, let me just put it out there. Maybe if someone wants to laugh at me, you can laugh at me, but I hope you learn something from my experience and don't do that to yourself. Thanks for watching.